just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy, and I am 100% glorifying obesity.
Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. This is a compilation of different TikToks of bigger women who are in the fat acceptance movement trying, I guess, their damnedest to get people to convert to fat acceptance freaks. You guys, I'm not skinny. I'm not skinny. Like, we should be trying to convince each other to be better people, not worse. And if being obese causes all these other people problems in the world, why are we going to sit there and uplift that? And so let's just see what they have to say, and maybe we can debunk it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're here. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think.
You know why being overweight is one of the smartest things you could do? Just imagine a zombie apocalypse and there's no food left. Overweight people keep all the food in their belly. Therefore, they would live longer than people who aren't overweight.
Okay, first of all, there was like so many things wrong with that clip. Number one, why are we standing in front of an open dishwasher? Number two, why are we wearing either a belly shirt or having our shirt pulled up? Like, I'm really confused. I mean, that was a sight to behold. It wasn't a very nice one. And then that weird, awkward laugh at the end. Like, you really thought you said something smart, and you didn't at all. You actually sounded very stupid. The zombie apocalypse is, like, bound to happen, right? And so you would be safe. Actually, no, you wouldn't. The fatter people would probably be the first to go. You know why? Because they have absolutely no agility whatsoever.
Welcome to Zombieland. Rule number one, cardio. Zombies lead a very active lifestyle. So should you.
The chances of you being able to run and escape a high emergency situation, very slim to none. No pun intended. That's just dumb for you to even say. That's all whatever.
Hey besties, this is your fat babe reminder to eat that cheeseburger at the damn beach. That's right, I said it. Put that bikini on, take your food down to the beach, and snack your little heart away. I don't care if someone's looking at you. You've got to eat, right? So do they. Just because you're a fat babe on the beach doesn't mean you can't eat. Oh, and don't forget to take those bloody pickles off. Ew!
Right, because pickles, the only semblance to a vegetable that you have on that burger sandwich, is the grossest thing. No, actually, the grossest thing on that beach would have been you, hun. Bigger people can definitely wear bathing suits and go to the beach. I'm not saying you shouldn't live your life. Like, I love to see people of different sizes exercise because, first of all, it's motivational, it's inspirational. And secondly, it's just good for you, no matter what size you are. By exercising and eating right and stuff like that, that's just going to help you. But that right there, you can't be that big. I mean, because at that point, it almost looks like you're being an expositionist. Like, you're pretty much naked on the beach because all of your bathing suit is engulfed by fat. Like, it's just nothing but skin. Like, we saw like the bra being covered, but the stomach hid her lower bottoms whatsoever. We did not see them at all. It's kind of a scary thought.
Body positivity has encouraged so many people of all sizes to feel comfortable in their bodies, which is obviously positive. We all deserve to feel respected and have dignity. But I'd like for us to admit that straight-sized bodies look to be more and more represented in this space.
Straight size bodies, that is the thing that blows me away. The fact that this word straight is being used in this context. Like, why don't you just say people who are normal weight or healthy weight? Why do you have to sit there and say straight size? Like, the fat is the gay of society. Like, no, it's not. They're two very different things. Two things that people like to discriminate against, one of which you can very well help and change. And I'm talking about weight. Yes, the weight thing, you can 100% change. So if you want to say that you feel some type of way about straight size people, what does straight size even mean? I mean, really, is it just all thin people, or is it people who have muscle, or is it people who are in between, or is it people who are just a little bit fat, or is it all of those? You know what I mean? And then you're just so morbidly obese that you just wouldn't even be in that category. I guess that's my next question.
At the expense of seeing other body types, like the fat bodies that was originally created to center and advocate for. So here I am to take up space in this movement, a cleanse for your body positivity feed, if you will, showing off my belly, my back rolls, my thighs.
I just want to stop it really quick. She looks like a cartoon right here because her shape is just so odd. Like she's got like shoulders, they're kind of big, and then she's got a somewhat of a smaller waist, and then her hips go out, but then she goes in like before the end of her hip. So it's like she's almost got more love handle than hip, I guess you could say. She's got an odd cartoon-like shape. As I sit here and I look at her fat, and also most of what she has is actually in the front, in her belly area, which is not good at all. You do not want to carry a lot of weight around your belly because that is pushing right on all your vital organs. And not to mention, she's definitely going to have back problems. Her stomach was so big and hung so low, her back has got to be hurting. You know, and I say that because I'm a woman who just had a baby, and I know that because I had all that weight centered in my stomach, now I deal with like all kind of back pain, and I'm like, ugh, cricking my neck for like a week, you know, type of deal. Literally, giving birth is something else, but I'm not even going to get into that. Let's just keep watching.
Physical features I'm oppressed for, vilified for, and hated for. I am body positive.
Things I hate as a fat person. Number one has to be those little like connected chairs at schools. Hello. So many straight-sized people complain about them too, so.
Hello? That's the worst thing about being fat. Like you're saying the connected chairs at school. So is it that you couldn't fit in them at all, or they were just really tight and uncomfortable for you? Because that's the vibe I'm getting here. Because most people wouldn't say that the number one thing they hated about being fat was the school desk. The number one thing I hated when I was fat was probably just feeling like I was never going to be the girl that, you know, any guy liked or something, you know, because I knew I wanted to be in a relationship. I knew all of this and that, but it was like I felt so inhibited because of my weight. I started to really pick up weight in high school from about 15 like onward, and then around 19 I joined a gym with my stepmom, and me and her going every day, her motivating me, helped me lose like practically all of that weight. So obviously my metabolism was different than it is now. So I could eat like crap food and just exercise and that was good, you know. But now it's like, I gotta eat right, I gotta exercise, I gotta sleep, I gotta do everything because I'm pushing into my later 30s. I'm 36 now, so it's like I'm not a baby anymore. So fast metabolism days, you know, they're gone. So I have to work to get in shape. Like, this is crazy. The idea of the worst thing about being fat and not being able to fit in school desk, like that must have meant that she was big, you guys.
Number two is glasses, because, okay, the frames are never like wide enough and they're always like splaying out the little arms.
Wow, this is technically a you problem. Like, I guess I wasn't as big as this young lady must be, to the point where you feel like the glasses are even a problem because they splay outward because your face is so round. You know, and I've noticed that bigger people, like people with really fat faces, they tend to get big glasses. And I feel like it's because maybe they'll think their face doesn't look as fat with them or something. But it's like, it actually draws more attention to it.
Number three is shopping at the grocery store, because we're all here to get food. But how come I'm the problem here? I just feel like all fat people, when they're going to the grocery store, are just like, people are looking at you and judging you no matter what you get.
I mean, that could be true, but I think that you should worry less about that and more on the fact that the average everyday person is just as insecure about life and about things as you may be. All of us have intrusive thoughts that go through our mind, especially as women. Our physical appearance is like the main thing that we're looked at and judged upon. So it's like, you know, the extra rolls or whatever. You wonder if people see stuff like that. And yeah, they do, but it's not as big of a deal to them as it is to you because it's your body. Like, most people will look and some people will just keep moving. They're not going to sit there and be traumatized by it. We'll say this: if you are the type of 600-pound lifer, then yeah, unfortunately, you're going to get stared at.
Okay. You fat, you stink, and you ugly, and you broke, monkey.
Most people aren't hundreds of pounds overweight. So like, when you get to that point, you got to kind of understand. That's like seeing a unicorn. You know, it's something rare. And I'll remember the most recent instance. It was actually at a mall, and the woman was sitting on a bench and she looked like she was waiting for like a smart bus or something. And her legs were like nothing I had ever seen.
If you get fruits and veggies, you're on a diet. If you don't, then that's why you're fat. And fourth is concert seating, because, oh my god, they are the narrowest things. They are like narrower than plane seats. They're like literal, and they're always like at like the highest peak. Like, it's like almost a 90-degree angle of walking up to sit there. It's like, are you wanting people to fall down?
That I can agree. That is definitely a problem for me too, because I have like a natural fear of heights.
This is like actively discriminatory.
I would love if we could start listening to fat people and plus size people when they voice very real concerns and fears and insecurities. So, for example, we've got into this trend of when a plus size person says, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm scared I'm going to be pointed at and laughed at. And it is met with, no one is going to be watching you at the gym because they're focused on their own workout. I wouldn't let it bother you. Or,
well, that's just like the other lady at the grocery store. People aren't focused on you. They're focused on their workout. Like sometimes, yeah, you might look at another person, but sometimes it's just because they're walking towards you, or they got up and did something quickly, or they're just in your vision, your visual. Like people get looked at. Now, if you get stared at, that's a different story. And you might be the kind of big where it's just like gonna be natural for you. And I'm not saying that it's right, but sometimes it's hard not to look at that.
I don't want to eat in public because I'm scared I'm going to get judged. What do you mean? No one's going to be watching you. No one's going to be watching what you're eating. I won't let it bother you. Or, so what if they do? Who are they to you? Water off a duck's back. It's not helpful. It's not helpful, right? Because first of all, I understand the sentiment where you're saying like no one's going to be watching me, but unfortunately it's just not true. Because the reason why a lot of these fears and insecurities exist for fat people is because they've already happened. They've already happened, and we don't want it to happen again because it's not fun. It's horrible to have to deal with it. So you saying no one's going to be watching me or people are just going to be working on their own workouts isn't 100% true, and it sucks that it isn't. I wish it was. It isn't, okay? But then also,
I gotta say that I hear her to a certain degree, because a human being listening to another, it's always going to come back to, well, how do you ever expect to change anything about your situation if you are unwilling to do the work? Other people are just trying to give you advice that works. Joining a gym is a great idea for a heavyset person because it's, first of all, believe it or not, it's motivating to see people have bodies that you wish you had. As you look at them, sometimes you may feel a sense of envy, or maybe you can feel a sense of respect and look at them as a stoic individual who has discipline. Maybe it'd be a good idea for you to be exposed to going out in public and dealing with people, because it'll help you see a different way of life. And you're going to just become a very antisocial person with awkward, quirky personality traits that don't work with society. But at the end of the day, you're the only person who can change you.
The idea that the only way I can battle this is by, saying, oh, well, these people shouldn't, you shouldn't let these people bother you in that way. That requires so much confidence that not everyone, and I mean everyone, not just plus size or fat people, I'm talking about everyone, struggles to make. To get to
That's exactly what I'm saying. So even the most beautiful person with the perfect body is still going to have some insecurities about something. Maybe their teeth are crooked, or maybe they're short, or maybe one of their feet is longer than the other one. It could be anything that they're insecure about. They just got the one thing that you don't. Healthy eating and diet mastered.
Point where you don't mind being like outwardly laughed at and mocked at and pointed at in public is an incredible level of confidence to obtain. Now, marry that with this idea that if you are fat, you've grown up your entire life having your confidence beaten out of you. And if you have any confidence now, it's because you've worked so hard to get there.
Here's the thing. Sometimes people are so insecure. I'd be feeling like they can make something up. Like literally, just because you are around somebody and then you turn your back on them and you hear snickering behind you, it doesn't mean that they even noticed you at all. It could literally be them just chit-chatting, whispering about something else. Have you ever been to a place of work? Any place that there's customer service and seeing the people that work there talking to each other, and they might snicker and laugh. It doesn't necessarily have to be about you. They could be having a conversation about people that they mutually know outside that place. You may have just walked in at that moment where they're having a conversation. The point I just want to reiterate, most people are so wrapped up in themselves, just like how you are thinking that everyone's thinking about you. They probably thinking that everyone's thinking about them too. Most people are thinking about the fact that everyone's thinking about them.
Having to dismantle all of that fat phobia and all of that diet culture in your head. I get it, and I salute you for getting to that confidence. But what I'm trying to say is, the world hasn't helped you get to that level of confidence. You've had to do it yourself, because the world has told you that you're ugly, that you're not deserved of love, you're not deserved of respect, you're not deserved of even equal healthcare. You are a drain on our resources. That's one of the things that gets thrown at me a lot. So the idea that person who has been hearing that their entire life is now also meant to have the level of confidence so that they don't get bothered by people outwardly laughing and mocking them in public spaces, well, that's fucking shit. That's a really hard task that you're asking these people. And I don't know what the answer is, but I think the first step is we have to admit that these things happen. So when a plus size person says, I'm scared about going to the gym, your answer isn't, oh, no one's going to be watching you. It's, I hear you, and that's a really valid fear to have. It sucks that it's valid, but it's valid nonetheless. And let's start from there and work our way forward.
Yeah, that just was a bunch of crap, an excuse to basically not go to the gym because people are so judging you. You've never been pointed and laughed at. Most people have been. Even if you're a really good looking person with everything going for you, you're still a victim of being talked about, believe it or not. Because then like you have like the uncool kids making fun of the jocks, making fun of the cheerleaders, you know what I mean? I've seen it happen like literally all my life. I've been around different groups of people that were popular, people that weren't popular, and even people like her. She's gonna have judgments about people. She may be with her friends somewhere and snicker and laugh and stuff. This is dumb. I'm sorry. I, for one, will never condone not going to the gym just because you think people are judging you and looking at you. Number one, get it in your head. Most people are wrapped up in themselves and what they got going on outside of life stuff. Like there's things, believe it or not, that go on outside the gym. When you're at the gym, you may be thinking about some whole nother stuff and you're just there to release some stress. People who frequent the gym, people who exercise often, I should say, use exercise as a means of self-control so that you can let out some of the steam that you may have built up from life and stresses and things of that nature. You can work it out and it's so much better for your body. All right, sorry for the abrupt end, you guys. I'm a parent, a mother of 3 little ones, okay? 4, 1, and 1 month. So your girl be having to go randomly. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave me a comment, and I will see you next time.